Hi, everyone. I am Chris O'Connor, Chris with a K, out of the Dallas, Texas area. And I am one of the trio from the Google My Business Tips and Tricks Clubhouse room. And today we are talking about question and answers, the Q&A section on your Google Business profile. It is really important, and I've stressed this since the beginning of this room, how important it is to answer the Q&As for the general public to know what you do. So today is a short little video on where to find it, how to do it, not only on your desktop, but where to find it, at least in the iPhone. Most people don't know that you can do questions and answers on your iPhone too. I'm not sure if it's in the same place on an Android because I'm not an Android user, but I'm going to share with you where to find it on your iPhone. So with that being said, I'm going to show you on the desktop, and then I'll show you on the iPhone where to find the same process. Example today, and this is one of the businesses that I manage, and I use this kind of as my testing site to show people what to do, what not to do, and where to find the Q&A. Now, on this particular uh, profile, you'll see that the Q&A section right here is right on top on the second line. In many of them, you have to hit this arrow to the right here to point it down. In many of them, the Q&A is down in this section here, okay? So I manage this business. So when I do this on search, this is what comes up for me because I manage the business. So once we get to the Q&A section, I will click on the Q&A section. So this already has a question in it, and I know we need to ask more questions on this profile, but I want to show you how to do this and how easy it can be. Now, how often should you do this? Well, and what kind of questions should you add? Do you allow customers to add questions, so on and so forth? Yes, we will go through all of this process. This particular question here is, how much would it be to wash and stain a 1,440 square foot fence? Because this is a fence company. So honestly, it's hard to answer that question via the internet. The best situation for our particular client is to give them an answer, but also to have them call and set up a free appointment. We always, this client always gives free estimates. You may give free estimates, you may not. I'm not sure. But we're just going to use this fence company as an example to kind of give you some light bulb moments and things that you can go through. Now, the strategy for the Q&As is my strategy, and you can make your own strategy. But usually when I start working with a client or a customer, there's 10 questions that are very common that people ask. Hopefully you have all these questions on your website in a frequently asked question page. If you have one of those, then use those questions and use those answers here. If you don't, I highly recommend you get one. But let's say that you don't. So this particular person wanted to know how much it would cost. And I give the answer. It's very hard to give an estimate without carefully seeing your fence. We have to visually see what's going on because there might be repairs that need to be made. There might be boards that need to be replaced. The gate might be hanging sideways. There's a lot of items that they have to look at before we can actually give them a price. And that's why we offer free estimates. What do you offer? And so basically, we always give a free estimate. If you would like to know the exact cost, give us a call at your convenience. That's my call to action, is give us a call. Now, I would have liked to put the phone number. I would have liked to put our free estimate link. I would have liked to have done all of that, but those are against Google's guidelines. So my call to action was give us a call for a free estimate, basically. So call us, we'll set up a time, and we'll send one of our estimators out there. Now, what I'd like to do is, if you have no questions, all you're going to see is the name of your company and then ask a question. So really all you need to do is click on ask a question, and what question are you going to populate in there? So let's just say that this is a popular question. How much does it cost to repair my fence? So what happens is from some of the posts and from other things that the internet finds online is they're going to have suggested answers for you that's going to populate. You may or may not agree with these answers, okay? But Google is already searching for an answer for somebody who's asking this question, and that might be an appropriate answer. So is this helpful? You can say yes or you can say no. Sometimes they're going to give you the wrong answer, so you don't want to follow that. So this is actually a good answer because the actual cost of a fence repair in the Dallas area may vary based on individual circumstances. Again, is it pine wood? Is it cedar wood? Is it chain link? Is it iron? Is it, what type of fence is it? Is it plastic? We have to take all those things into consideration. And actually, this company only works on wood fences. So to get more accurate estimate, it's recommended that you reach out to the local fence repair company like Fence Makeovers for a free estimate. So I can say yes, this was helpful because this might be an answer that they serve up. So I'm going to post this question. And they're going to say, do you want to ask another question or are you done? So I'm going to click done for this particular one. Now you can see that how much does it cost to repair my fence? There's no answer there. So what you would do is you would come down to the answer and and just click on it and it'll open up so you can answer that question. And again, I usually say thank you for asking this question. However, it does depend on what type of fence. And I could continue on. I won't continue on with my answer, but you could continue on in answering that question. Now, I don't usually leave one-liners. I try to leave at least 2 or 3 or 4 sentences with some type of call to action. So, and you can make it fun or you can make it, humorous or, you don't have to be super serious, but at least get your point across in your feelings about what your business is. Now, if that's how I wanted to post it, then I would post the answer to that question. I'm not going to post right now because I'm going to create a longer post with a better answer, and you guys really don't need to watch me do that. If you don't like your answer and you don't want it to post up here right underneath Fence Makeovers, it says all questions. So you can click on that. It'll take you back to the questions, and then there's no answers here, so you can come back and answer that later. The sooner that you answer, the better off that you are. Here, somebody clicked thumbs up. So somebody liked that answer. You can do that as well if you like the business's answer, or if you've got somebody who likes your answer, have them hit that thumbs up too. And what that can do is it can help you that answer and that question move up in the Q&A section. Now, why is that important? Well, it may be important because somebody might have asked a question that wasn't very good or gave a wrong answer that wasn't very good, and you need to come back and answer that and get that answer pushed above the wrong answer. So important that you keep on top of your Q&A because you don't want anybody just to answer those questions. Now, where do we go? Okay, where do we go to get where do we go to ask the questions? What if you're stuck and you don't know what your questions are? You can go to Answer the Public, you can go .com, you can go to Quora, you can go to Google. Honestly, there's so many places that you can go to. Now, one of the items that I showed, and there's a video on, is Google loves Google, right? So where do we find some questions? Well, let me go back to this here. And let's just say, um, how much does, okay. So as you can see, I'm typing in how much does, and then Google lists, I don't know, what is that? 10 or more possibilities for things that people are searching for. Well, let's click on how much does a fence cost? Okay. So what's going to come up is all the sponsored links, Home Depot, but it also, as we scroll down, how much does it cost for a 200-foot of fence? Here are some questions that people also ask. Are these the same type of questions that people ask you in your business? Answer those. When you scroll all the way down to the bottom, here are several more items that you can use for questions. How much does a fence cost per foot? How much does a 6-foot privacy fence cost per foot? How much does a wood fence cost? So here are some perfect questions to answer that Google loves. As I always say, Google loves Google. So why not feed Google the information that they want to help serve your business up? So very important to do that. If you don't know how to answer, if you don't know how to ask questions, there's always Chat GPT. Let's see if I can get Chat GPT up here to help with. Give me just a second to pull Chat. I should have had it pulled up for us. Okay, so I have Chat GPT on here. Down at the very bottom, I can ask the question, write an answer for how much does a fence cost to repair in the Dallas area? The more specific you are, the better off you are. So let's see what it comes up with. So as you can see, we got 4 paragraphs out of Chat GPT. Now, what I would do is I would take that same article or that same answer, I would condense it into a smaller answer. And this helps people understand, do I want to work with them or do I not want to work with them? Now, I know that you're all squirming in your seats because you feel like we put prices out there. Okay. Google loves numbers. And Joy Hawkins said that in one of our rooms not too long ago. And when you do a post or when you answer questions with the dollar amount, Google tends to serve you up higher on the list. I'm not saying you have to put your specific dollar amount, but as you can see in this particular question, in the answer, it ranges from, I'm sure all of you have a range. I used to do this all the time in the garage door industry because there is a range. There's always a range in a service type business. There's usually not a one time cost that covers everybody. So, what is your range of price to put in there? That way you can land that customer, convert that customer into business. It really is super helpful to do that. I know there may be a lot of questions on a lot of this, and how do you choose questions to answer? How do you what are some of the strategies? Again, I'm just going to review. I start with 10 questions. Simple. I post 2 or 3 of those questions each week until I get to the full 10. I don't usually put all of them out there. I add emojis. We're finding that emojis help. Now, don't go crazy with your emojis. I put 1 or 2, especially in the title. I always do that on the Google Business Profile post as well because it helps people. It catches your eye. and people tend to look at that more. Maybe they'll read it. Make sure that you put a call to action to everything that you do. Call me today or email me today, now. Those are key words to use: now, today. Um, you want them to take that next step to reach you. And it's so important on every marketing piece, not only in Google Business Profile, but how do they reach you? And you have to give people the next step on how to reach you. So I hope that this was valuable. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about how do you find the Q&A section on your iPhone. So when I serve up one of my clients and I'm on the search, not the maps, on the search part, sometimes it asks, and maybe it's because I manage a lot of properties, but I want to look at it. I want to manage it on the search. And when that happens, it brings up the company that I'm working with. And underneath your business on Google, there are 3 prompts. There is edit profile, there's promote, and there's customers. So if you click on customers, you're going to have 4 prompts. At least this is the way it is on my phone. The first prompt is reviews. The second one is calls. The third one is messages. And the fourth one is Q&A. This is exactly where I want you to go, is to the Q&A section. Once you reach the Q&A section, if there are no questions, there's going to be a blue little house with a check mark. And next to it, it's going to say, ask the community. That's where you ask your question. If you already have questions, you'll see answers and you can post answers there. But let's just say you have no questions. So let's ask the public what the question is. Once you click ask the community button, it's you just like you do on your desktop, you're going to ask the question to the community and then you're going to post it. In the top right corner, it says post. So then you're going to post that question. When that question gets posted, then you can click on an answer, just like you did on desktop. There's that little square that says answer. You'll click on answer, okay, and you'll answer your question. So on the iPhone, let me review. Once you're on maps, you're going to see edit profile, promote, and customers. Click on customers, and the 4th prompt down for me is Q&A. Go to Q&A, type in your question and ask the community. On the top right-hand corner, you're going to hit post. When you go back to the questions, you're going to see that question there, and then you're going to tap on answer, and you'll be able to answer it. If you have any other questions, just holler back at Lenny, myself, or Alicia. We are absolutely here to help you each and every week. Thank you so much for letting us share our knowledge with you and to your success. Thanks so much.